Today I'm gonna help you gross people out this Halloween. I feel like it's the one and only time on the channel that I have fun making disgusting cakes. You know what? I feel like, Orhan, these decorations do not reflect the disgust. He's absolutely adorable. Who's he scaring? Boo! No. And then they're just so happy. The first cake up to bat is a cake I made for the AB family, and it's a graveyard cake, but it's a roulette cake, or what we call a roulette cake on the channel. So in every little grave or secret chamber of the cake, I buried a trick or a treat. The treat is like you can put candy or chocolates, delicious things that go with cake, but the trick is to put nasty things inside. I don't even remember what I put. Did I put sardines? Yeah. Like salt and vinegar chips. All those things are great, but not in cake. I think I did one of the graves with like a hot pepper oil, like a chili oil that you would put on pasta.
No, they quit YouTube after that, so.
It's me. So I'm responsible. I'm so sorry if you all enjoyed watching the AB family. It's my fault. It was the sardines in the cake. That's the drama. That's the tea behind. They've never talked about us on Drama Alert or any of those YouTube, you know those YouTube drama channels? People don't even know this. I'm giving you the tea. I love this cake because, first of all, it's Halloween. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's a graveyard. Spooky graveyards look disheveled, so you don't have to worry about being neat. You know what I'm saying? You can buy a cake mix, use cookie cutters to cut out the chambers or a knife. Buy all the nasty stuff you can at the store and fill the chambers. And then for the little tombstones, I just used a chocolate mold, and I piped in some candy melts and made the little tombstones. Orhan, I have to ask you, do you think this could be a beginner cake? Orhan doesn't believe any of the cakes on this channel are for beginners, correct? Is that your statement? Yeah. I mean, think about it. You could bake a slab cake from a cake mix, cut out chambers, fill it with whatever nasty and good things you like, write on a cookie. Who can't do that? And if it looks messy, who cares? It just looks like a creepy, scary graveyard that no one visits anymore. Yeah. Don't tell your friends that are coming over about the nasty treats. Just cut the cake and serve it and say nothing. Those friends you've been trying to get rid of, right? You strategically cut the cake. Right? The girl that gets on your nerves, she gets sardines.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Oops. And like your best friend gets gummy worms. Everyone wins. Okay, so I do think this is a great beginner cake. Doesn't matter, it could be messy, it could be not level, it could be falling apart. It just looks scarier. Let me know what nasty ingredient you would put in the secret chamber. This is a cake that is actually pretty popular. I've seen a lot of other channels make this cake. I've seen it in books. It's more difficult than the graveyard. Fine. However, I'll admit it, okay? Look at me, admitting it. If you remember, I made like a deep, dark red velvet cake, so you can have so much fun with the base of the brain and how gross it is. And then you really don't have to get the shape that perfect, as long as it resembles a brain. It's definitely not on the harder side of carving. Right, but if you just leave it as a cylinder, that won't look like a brain. So you've gotta like at least carve it into like a dome. Oh, well, here's the other thing. I made it out of fondant, obviously, but you could pipe it out of buttercream or frosting. But the squiggly lines are definitely the most tedious part of this cake, but brains aren't that big. I mean, look at my head. How big is my brain? So this? Mine's probably like this. It's not that big. It's more about the presentation. That's what I love about the brain cake. It's more about, does it look bloody and disgusting? And you can have so much fun with the fake blood. You could just use like seedless raspberry jelly, color it more red with food coloring, or even like a dark red as if the brain has been sitting around. I say the brain cake can also be beginner because it doesn't matter if the brain looks injured. If anything, that's even more scary, right? You know what's gonna happen? The one neurologist watching right now is gonna put notes in the comments, and I'm fine with it. I'm perfectly fine. They have so much time, right? So they're obviously watching how to cake it, right?
In the surgery.
And I think this would be a really fun cake to make with your kids. Because kids love to play with Play-Doh, and so that part of it probably wouldn't feel as tedious to them as it does to you. They'd have fun, and then you just make it all gory and bloody and nasty. Put it on a platter, like the same platter you would serve your turkey on. Put it on that.
Have you ever made an eyeball?
No.
You should make an eyeball.
I know, there's
The roots.
Oh, you mean out of the socket? Yeah. Oh, God, Orhan. I'd have to make it all like glossy with the root with like a trail of blood. We're going easiest to hardest. So I would say graveyard is the most basic, easiest one. Brain is easy, but a little bit harder. And now we're gonna move on to another body part. It is a severed leg. This video actually grosses me out because Furious Pete came and ate all of it. Do you remember? And I was legitimately scared. I was backing out of frame. The cake was so big too. That's why I have to put this cake last. It's obviously the hardest. It was the biggest. But you don't have to make the whole leg. You could just make a foot. You could just make part of the calf. Make a toe. Exactly, make a toe. Start small. Make the pinky, work your way up, right? Is it called a pinky toe? Now we have to look this up. Pinky toe?
Yes, the smallest toe on your foot is often called the pinky toe. It's a cute little name, isn't it?
It is. What app is that? Come here and show it to me right now. Who makes cakes on How to Cake It?
Yolanda Gampp is the talented baker behind How to Cake It. She started the YouTube channel to share her amazing cake creations, which often look like everyday objects or foods. Yolanda's personality and baking skills have helped How to Cake It become incredibly popular, inspiring millions of viewers to try their hand at creative baking.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Wait, what's a beginner cake on How to Cake It?
The hardest part about this, obviously, is sculpting the leg. But legs all look different, guys.
You say that this is your excuse for everything. Legs look different, brains look different.
Does your leg look like my leg? No, Orhan. It could be a cartoony leg. Here's a hint. The less muscular the leg is, the easier it will be to carve.
So if you make the legs of like a duck, a duck leg will be easy.
A duck leg is like this.
Yeah. So you just make it two.
Orhan, who's trying to make a duck leg for Halloween? So like I said, I admitted that carving it is the hardest part, okay? But the fun part comes in the after, because the leg is supposed to tell a story of what happened to this poor person, right? So it doesn't have to look perfect. You're not trying to make the most sculpted, muscular leg of an athlete. You're trying to make a limb that looks like it's been torn off by a zombie. So you can have fun painting the leg. Is the leg stained with blood? Does the leg have a ton of like scars and stitches and scabs? You can have all the fun in the world with that. Is there an open wound that you could fill with like jammy blood and make little maggots? You can have fun with this. It's definitely the most ambitious out of the three. You want it to look like it's the apocalypse and you just stumbled upon this unknown piece of leg and you don't even know who it came from. That's pretty dark for How to Cake It.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's the one and only time we get dark on this channel. So you gotta run with it. Ha! See what I did there? You run with your legs. Okay, I wanna know which one of these cakes, which one of these nasty cakes is your favorite? And let me know if you're gonna attempt to make one of them this upcoming Halloween. And if you do, take a picture, tag me, I wanna see it.